Next up, we have a wonderful division battle here. Panthers at Bucks. We have the fourth best matchup for Bryce Young, and it doesn't matter. 29th best matchup for Baker Mayfield, and I'm still playing him over Bryce Young. That's how good his rookie year is going. I'm playing Baker Mayfield over him without question. I have them probably in the low teens. Baker at 14. I have Bryce Young at 22. And despite, like I was talking about this the other day, this is the ugliest year I've ever seen for ranking quarterbacks. I have Bryce Young as pretty much my worst of the starting quarterbacks. He's still at 22, and I have 1, 2, 3, 5, 7 after him. But the 7 after him are Boyle, Mac Jones, Bailey Zappi, DTR, Ritter, and like once you get to 20, like I have Stafford at 20, I Stafford at 19, and then after that it's Levis, Browning, Bryce Young, and the guys we just talked about. Like it's rough. Once you get past, if you don't have one of the top 18 quarterbacks, especially this week with all the buys, you don't have a quarterback. Like it's freaking ugly.
Yes. Bryce Young is very much on the Trevor Lawrence path of just what the F is going on in his rookie season this year, where it's just been a disaster. And so I'm curious to see how.
Wright, though. Frank Wright was a good coach.
Did you hear that he didn't want to involve RPO with Bryce Young because it didn't fit his offense? And I'm like, dude, that's what Bryce Young does. What are you doing? So I think there was a lot of issues with that offense. Like he's being stubborn. He's an old guy. Didn't want to change it to fit his marquee quarterback. So ideally they set up, but the skill position.
He runs an RPO. He's going to get killed.
Hey, you got to give him something to mix up because this line is atrocious. The skill position player, so you got to find a way.
That's the real issue.
And Tampa's a good matchup to see what they're going to do. So like I think that he's okay, but yeah, I'm starting him. I have zero confidence in Bryce Young this week. I'm starting him in the league. I have to start him. I don't want to start him. I have to start him. But yeah, Baker's fine. Like you just roll with Baker. Like it's the vibes of Bryce Young are horrific right now. So yeah, Baker, he's like my QB 16 or something, and I'm fine with that.
Yeah. I'm definitely starting Baker over Bryce. The problem is it's possible that you don't know with these Wednesday practice reports, but it's possible that Jeremy Chin, J.C. Horn, and C.J. Henderson are all back for this game. Henderson at least had a full practice, the other two limited. So if that's the case, that's a huge upgrade on the back end. It's not going to matter much, but it may cut down Baker's ability to get the ball deep.
I avoided this one in the survivor pool because how many times have we seen this where some dog shit team gets a new coach or their coach gets fired and they play like world beaters just for 1 week? So anything's possible in this one. Sorry, what was that?
Oh, I said look at the Raiders 2 weeks ago with Antonio Pierce. They were like, fuck Josh McDaniels.
They're still doing it, man. They're still doing it.
Yeah. So, yeah, there could definitely be some of that. I just think the talent is much worse in Carolina than it is in Vegas right now. So, yeah.
Ooh,
like NFL 2023 is like Raiders and Broncos on winning streaks. Like, what are we doing here?
Wild.
The running backs. We have the 5th worst matchup for the Panthers, who are a mess. I guess Hubbard's the one you start there. He's probably an RB3 for me at best. I don't have any other in my top 50. On the Bucks, it's the 3rd best matchup. Rachaad White is my RB4 this week. Thoughts?
It's nice. The vibes with White are so much better than where we started out. And you're like, oh, he's inefficient. Well, guess what? Now he's starting to get a little bit better, and that volume's still there. So Rachaad White is the 0 RB king this year. Bow down to him. I was wrong about Rachaad White. I will fully admit that. Like, so yeah,
no,
it's been great.
This is the 0 RB season. Have you looked at like the top 15 ranks in running backs?
Every season, Aaron. Every season.
I mean, look at Kyron Williams, the king. He's back, baby. Yeah, it is what it is, right? It's CMC and just a bunch of scrubs doing it for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I appreciate it, Smitty.
Coming after you.
But yeah, it's pretty funny. So yeah, like you just roll with White. Like you can't fade him. He's too good. It's just you lock him in your lineup and you're good. Hubbard, he's RB29 for me. Miles Sanders is creeping on that role, so I do want to see. But the thing is, Hubbard takes all of the passing work, so. In a game against Tampa Bay where they're not going to be able to run the ball, I think Hubbard should be much more effective. Like, if you're starting one of those guys, Hubbard. Yeah, it's Hubbard, and I'm not even touching Sanders. Like, I don't want to play Sanders. Like, it just – I don't see how Sanders succeeds. At least Hubbard could get some passing work where he can get you points.
I dropped I dropped Sanders this week in multiple leagues for either a kicker or a DST for ones on bye. That's how bad it is for Sanders right now.
He just
and I didn't even agonize. It's not one of those. Oh, I don't. Yeah, it's just how I see Miles Sanders, but
yep, absolutely.
And nobody picked him up on waivers.
Yeah, and just goes to what you were saying about zero RB, Aaron. Is Miles Sanders, the ultimate dead zone running back this season, just totally dropped off the face of the earth. Meanwhile, Rashad White is a king, a PPR king, getting you 15 points a week. So it is what it is.
Wide
You
receivers.
pick the right one, you're living right.
Yeah. Fourth best matchup for Adam Thielen. Third worst for the Bucs. I feel like I have Evans the highest, which I probably do. Let me check here. Evans, I think, is a wide receiver. He is. Where the hell is? Oh, he's wide receiver 8 for me. Then I'm down on Thielen all the way to 24, and Godwin's next up at 29. So I prefer Mike Evans pretty heavily here. How about you guys?
Yeah. So his time with Tom Brady, he absolutely murdered Carolina. Like, he was just a one-man wrecking crew against Carolina. Like we saw last year what he did in the championship game. The game before that, he had 15 targets. And you go back to like 2020 season, he's just been absurd. He's averaging over 20 points per game against Carolina. So like, we are riding with Mike Evans. He's my wide receiver 8 as well. The vibes are immaculate with Mike Evans this week. Fire him up, baby. It's Mike Evans season. He's just been so much better than Chris Godwin. Like, the two are not even close in my rankings. I think Godwin is way down at, let me see where Godwin's at. He is, if I can find him, he's wide receiver 35. So like, there's a big clip between them. And on Thielen, on the flip side, I had to drop him just because I don't know how this usage is going to shake out with the new coaching staff and scheme. So I don't think he's going to be our cheat code anymore. So he's like wide receiver 30. It's just, I really don't know what to do with Thielen this week.
And on Godwin, he's only hit wide receiver 35 once in the last month, where he was wide receiver 34. So it's
it's been rough.
It's terrible for him. I mean, he's getting 7 targets a game, but he's not really connecting. And when he is, his just yards per target are so low that you just can't trust him. I like Trey Palmer, not enough to really fire him up, but I do like that the fact that his role can and probably should grow in this offense. On the other end, Mingo's a nice little dart throw, but you're right. It's Evans, maybe Thielen, and you're avoiding everyone else if you can.
Evans, I'm starting in this one for sure. And then I'm debating between Ayuk and Collins. I think it's Ayuk. Evans, Ayuk.
Let's see.
What are the matchups?
Ayuk gets Philly.
San Fran gets Philly.
Ayuk.
Nice.
Ayuk.
Ayuk's top 7.
Ayuk, the monster.
Yeah.
So it's
Ayuk and Evans. Yeah.
Evans and Ayuk.
Yeah.
Not Christian Watson.
All right, moving on. Tight ends here. We have a good matchup for Hayden Hurst or whoever it is, Tommy Trumbull. Don't care, not playing him. Cade Otton gets a mediocre to low-end matchup. I don't really want to play him. I think I'd rather stash him. Having said that, he's probably, he's 13 for me, so he's on the borderline. He is playable. He's just not really someone I'm not really ready to buy in yet. The workload's there, but I'd like to just stash. The kickers, bad matchup for both Pinheiro and McLaughlin. I think I have them both ranked pretty low. McLaughlin at 17, Pinheiro at 23. Not great. And the DSTs are good matchup for the Bucs, bad matchup for the Panthers. I don't know what to make of this. The Bucs apparently score quite a bit. I have the Bucs as my DST. Where the hell are they? DST 3, and the Panthers are all the way down at only 11. So I guess they're both startable for now. I don't know. I feel like I might bump the Panthers down a bit, but this one kind of scares me because, first game without a coach or after their coach being fired, anything's possible. What do you guys think?
Their defense has been so bad for fantasy. Like, I think they're worse in the league for fantasy points, the Carolina Panthers defense. So, I just don't want to touch them until I see better from them. It's just stay away. And yeah, Tampa, you get Bryce Young, you get turnovers. It's just fire them up, baby.
Yeah, and I don't hate Cade Otton this week. I mean, he's getting the looks. It's just, with 6 teams on bye, you might not have a better option. You have to play.
Yeah.